I usually steer clear of gossip, but today I've got some insider info that's too juicy to hold back. Welcome to our channel. Now, let's dive right into the drama because, trust me, it's like something out of a blockbuster movie. Just recently, Diddy stirred the pot once more by filing a renewed motion for bail. The government, keeping everyone on edge, waited until the last possible minute, 11:23 p.m. on the deadline day to oppose it. They left no stone unturned in their effort to counter Diddy's move. And here's the scoop. Not only is the government accusing Diddy of reaching out to Kina from dirty money a whopping 128 times, but they're also claiming he pushed her to pen that viral Instagram statement that defended him and threw shade at Don. If you're wondering about tampering, well, it seems this goes beyond that. It's a full-blown orchestration. Now get this. Diddy isn't just making moves, he's orchestrating a complex dance. He's reportedly enlisted outsiders to fund inmate phone accounts, allowing him to cloak his communication from prying government eyes. And that's not all. There are whispers of Diddy employing an unauthorized messaging service dubbed Contact Me ASAP to keep in touch with his circle, including one of his sons and numerous associates outside the official lists. Moreover, Diddy is purportedly leveraging his family for a social media blitz. Remember the heartwarming birthday video from his kids? Turns out it might be part of a strategy to sway public opinion and potentially the jury. According to the authorities, right after the video dropped, Diddy was checking the internet's pulse on it from a jail computer. This unfolding saga hints at a complex web woven by Diddy to protect his interests and influence his trial's outcome. We're just scratching the surface today, but believe me, there's a lot more to this tale. Stay tuned because I promise it's going to be a roller coaster ride. Before we dive back into the swirling drama, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single update about this story and many others. As we unravel this complex saga, Diddy's legal team has recently countered the government's charges, asserting the evidence against him is insufficient and introducing what they claim is new evidence that justifies reopening his bail motion. However, the government remains skeptical, pointing out that Diddy has already been denied bail by two previous judges due to significant concerns about the risk he poses, both in terms of potential danger and his propensity for obstructing justice. The core of the government's argument is that Diddy's so-called new evidence is nothing more than a continuation of his ongoing efforts to manipulate the legal process. They accuse him of dodging law enforcement oversight, orchestrating social media campaigns to sway public opinion, leaking selective information to the press, and maintaining improper contact with key witnesses. To illustrate, the government details how Diddy has used his past relationship with Cassie, labeled Victim 1, and interactions with other witnesses to craft a narrative that misleads about his character and actions. They emphasize that these tactics were previously deemed insufficient by the courts to warrant a change in his bail status. The discovery documents handed to Diddy's team, which include intimate text exchanges showing both the tenderness and toxicity of his relationship with Cassie, are said to be misrepresented by his defense. The government points out that these messages also contain disturbing allegations of abuse, which Diddy's team has conveniently ignored in their defense presentations. Moreover, the situation with Victim 2 adds another layer of complexity. Despite Diddy's defense questioning the validity of her victim status because she reportedly hadn't directly spoken to the government argues that the evidence from their interactions strongly supports their case, showing Diddy's coercive and threatening behavior. The legal entanglements extend to a mysterious witness one, a male associated with Diddy, whose attempts to reach him were consistently ignored until he was subpoenaed by the grand jury. Shortly after the subpoena, Diddy suddenly reached out, an action the government cites as a clear attempt to influence or intimidate a potential witness. All of this paints a picture of a man who not only uses his influence to bend the rules, but also actively seeks to control the narrative and outcomes of his legal challenges through any means available. As this story continues to develop, the implications for Diddy's freedom and the integrity of the legal proceedings against him remain as precarious and entangled as ever. Stay tuned as we continue to follow this unfolding story, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the latest developments? Let's discuss. The defendant, Diddy, allegedly used indirect methods to communicate with witness number 1, including contacting the witness's wife and using voice-over IP services for extended communications lasting over 7 minutes. Even after the witness secured legal counsel, Diddy persisted in reaching out repeatedly. Direct contact was not shied away from. Diddy's counsel even engaged directly with the witness. Despite this witness eventually testifying before the grand jury on July 25, 2024, Diddy continued his attempts to communicate through both phone calls and text messages, which were meticulously recorded from June to August of 2024. Later, when authorities examined Diddy's phone, they discovered that all related messages had been deliberately erased. Turning our attention to witness number 2, Keena from Dirty Money, the plot thickens. The government alleges that after a pause in communication, Diddy reignited contact with Keena in September 2024, specifically to align her support and coerce a public statement to counter claims made by another party, Don. This orchestrated interaction began with Diddy sending Keena a lawsuit filed against him, immediately followed by a phone call that lasted nearly 6 minutes discussing the need for her public support. Over the next few days, the frequency of their communication spiked, with over 128 contacts recorded, leading up to Keena's public statement via Instagram on September 13, 2024. Further unraveling Diddy's tactics, the investigation revealed his use of other inmates' telephone accounts to obscure his identity during calls. This maneuver not only violates Bureau of Prisons regulations, but also highlights the lengths to which Diddy went to evade monitoring. Each phone call made using another inmate's PAC number was a direct breach of BOP policies, a fact announced at the beginning of each call. In addition to phone misuse, Diddy's employment of unauthorized messaging services like Contact Me SP demonstrates a sophisticated approach to bypassing standard communication channels. This service was used not just for personal contact, but also to involve individuals who were not on approved lists, further complicating the legal boundaries he was navigating. The layers of Diddy's communication strategy did not stop at unauthorized services. He frequently orchestrated three-way calls, another prohibited action, to conceal the identities of those he was in contact with. These calls often involve members of his enterprise or associates not listed on his official contact list, demonstrating a deliberate attempt to subvert BOP rules and monitor his network's influence. The overarching narrative shows Diddy's persistent efforts to manipulate the proceedings by contacting potential witnesses, some of whom could testify about their experiences of abuse. A particularly disturbing instance involved a conversation with his son, suggesting tactics for silencing or influencing witnesses beneficially for his defense. As this complex case continues to unfold, the depth of Diddy's alleged manipulations suggests a concerted effort to challenge the integrity of the legal process from within the confines of his detention. With his bail hearing approaching on November 22, 2024, these revelations cast a long shadow over his claims of innocence and reform. What are your thoughts on these developments? The intricacies of Diddy's case touch on broader issues of celebrity influence and legal integrity. Drop your comments below. We're eager to dive into this discussion with you. And remember, for more detailed coverage on this and other thrilling stories, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.